The midnight shift at Sector 7 Alpha Observation Station always felt longer than its standard 12 hours. Yelma knew this all too well as she stared at the monitoring screens. Her eyes, following the countless green dots, moving in predictable patterns across the vast emptiness of space. Each dot represented a vessel, from massive cargo haulers to nimble personal shuttles, all properly registered with the Zephyrian Empire as law dictated. 3 years into her position as a sensor technician, Yelma found herself caught in the monotony of routine. Every ship that passed through Sector 7 Alpha was catalogued, registered, and tracked. The Empire's regulations were clear: no exceptions, no unregistered vessels. Yet night after night, the 28-year-old watched the same patterns unfold with mechanical precision, occasionally fighting the urge to doze off during particularly uneventful shifts. "Another thrilling night of dots moving across screens," she muttered to herself, taking a sip from her steaming cup of kava, a bitter, stimulant beverage favored by night shift workers throughout the Empire. Her fingers tapped lazily against the console, cycling through different sensor arrays more out of habit than necessity. The observation chamber hummed with the quiet sounds of equipment, the soft beeping of sensors, the gentle whir of climate regulators, and the occasional ping of system notifications. The chamber's dim blue lighting was designed to reduce eye strain during long shifts, casting Yelma's face in an ethereal glow as she monitored the traffic patterns. She was halfway through her shift when it happened. A new dot appeared on her screen. Nothing unusual about that. Ships entered Sector 7 Alpha all the time, but this one was different. The registration code query returned blank. Yelma frowned, running the scan again. Still blank. "That's odd," she whispered, sitting upright in her chair. Protocol dictated that she run a full diagnostic on the sensor array when anomalies occurred. She did so, watching as the system performed its self-check. "Diagnostic complete. All systems functioning normally." The unidentified dot remained on her screen, now moving at a velocity that caught her attention. She pulled up the metrics. "That can't be right," Yelma muttered, leaning closer to the screen. The vessel was traveling at 1.4 times the maximum speed of any known engine technology. She cross-referenced the data with the Empire's comprehensive archives of propulsion systems. Nothing matched. Following protocol, she contacted the neighboring observation stations. "Station 7 Beta, this is Alpha. Are you tracking an unregistered vessel in Sector Quadrant 2187? "Negative, Alpha. All vessels in our range are accounted for. Is there a problem?" "Possibly a sensor glitch. What about you, 6 Alpha?" "All clear here. Yelma, want us to redirect some sensors your way?" "Please do." Minutes later, confirmation came from both stations. The unidentified vessel was real, and it was moving at an impossible speed. Yelma's heart began to race. In 3 years of monitoring, nothing like this had ever occurred. Her fingers flew across the console as she compiled the data into an emergency report. Protocol was clear about the next step. She opened a direct channel to Imperial Command. "This is Sensor Technician Yelma at Sector 7 Alpha Observation Station, reporting an anomaly requiring immediate attention. I am tracking an unregistered vessel moving at unprecedented velocity through the sector, requesting guidance." The response came almost immediately. "Stand by for direct communication with Admiral Zoll." Yelma swallowed hard. Admiral Zoll was the highest-ranking military officer in this region of space. For him to take direct interest in her report meant this was serious, far more serious than she had initially realized. The communication screen flickered, and the stern face of Admiral Zoll appeared. His features were sharp, almost predatory, enhanced by the ceremonial facial markings of the Zephyrian military elite. "Report," he commanded without preamble. "Admiral, approximately 30 minutes ago, our sensors detected an unregistered vessel entering the sector. It's maintaining a speed of 1.4 times our fastest known propulsion capabilities. 3 separate stations have confirmed the reading. It's not in any of our archives, sir, and it's moving fast. The Admiral's expression remained impassive, but Yelma noticed a subtle tension in his jaw. Trajectory. It appears to be heading toward the galactic core, sir. Admiral Zoll was silent for a moment, his eyes narrowing in thought. Continue monitoring. I'm mobilizing the 8th Fleet to intercept. Send all data directly to my command vessel.
Yes, Admiral.
The communication ended, leaving Yelma alone with the implications of what was happening. The 8th Fleet was the Empire's premier rapid response force, equipped with the most advanced weaponry in Zephyrian arsenal. Whatever this unknown vessel was, the Empire was taking no chances. As Yelma continued tracking the anomaly, notifications began flooding her system. The Altarian Dominion, the Vegan Consortium, the Centauri Coalition, all major powers in the galaxy were mobilizing their forces. Word of the unidentified vessel had spread rapidly through diplomatic channels, triggering what appeared to be a galaxy-wide response. Within hours, hundreds of warships from various factions were converging on the projected path of the mysterious vessel. Yelma could only watch in astonishment as the largest combined fleet in recorded history assembled in response to her discovery. What had she set in motion? Thousands of light-years away, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Terra's Pride, humanity's first venture beyond their solar system. The sleek vessel represented the pinnacle of human achievement, the culmination of decades of research into faster-than-light travel. Engine status. Dr. Williams, Morrison asked, his eyes fixed on the vast starfield, visible through the ship's observation window. Dr. Kate Williams, the chief engineer responsible for the revolutionary quantum fold drive, looked up from her console with a smile of satisfaction. The Q-fold is performing beyond expectations, Captain. We're maintaining 1.4 times the theoretical maximum speed we projected. At this rate, we'll reach our destination 2 days ahead of schedule. Morrison nodded, allowing himself a moment of pride. Humanity had achieved what many thought impossible just 5 years ago. The quantum fold drive had revolutionized space travel, allowing humans to venture far beyond the confines of their solar system for the first time. Any signs of intelligent life yet? He asked, turning to Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez at the sensor station. Nothing conclusive, Captain, but we're picking up some interesting patterns in subspace communications. Dr. Peterson is analyzing them now. At the mention of his name, Dr. Sam Peterson looked up from his workstation, eyes bright with excitement. The patterns suggest organized communication networks, Captain, highly sophisticated ones. We're definitely not alone out here. Commander Lisa Park, the ship's first officer and diplomatic specialist, joined the conversation. If there are advanced civilizations out here, we need to prepare for first contact scenarios. Our mission is exploration and peaceful contact. We should be ready. Morrison nodded, taking in the input from his senior crew. Agreed. Let's proceed with caution but maintain our course. Humanity has waited long enough to join the galactic community, if there is one. Little did they know that their journey had already been noticed, triggering a massive response from civilizations that had existed for thousands of years before humans had even left their planet. On the command deck of the Zephyrian flagship, Indomitable, Admiral Zoll stood before a tactical display showing the positions of hundreds of warships from various factions, all converging on the path of the unidentified vessel. Have we established communication with the other fleets? He asked his communications officer. Yes, Admiral. The Altarians, Vegans, and Centauri have all acknowledged our coordination protocols. Even the Drakari Imperium has joined the containment effort. Zoll raised an eyebrow. The Drakari rarely cooperated with anyone, preferring isolation to interaction. For them to join this coalition spoke volumes about the perceived threat level of the unknown vessel. And what of the vessel itself? Any response to our hails? None, Admiral. It continues on its course, ignoring all communication attempts. Zoll's tactical officer, a veteran of 3 interstellar conflicts, approached with a datapad. "Sir, we've analyzed the vessel's trajectory and speed. If it maintains course, it will reach the prohibited zone near Zephyr Prime in approximately 48 hours. "Unacceptable," Zol stated flatly. "No unregistered vessel approaches the heart of our civilization. Prepare intercept strategies. I want options for disabling that ship without destroying it. Whatever technology it possesses, we need to understand it." As the tactical officer departed to carry out his orders, Zol turned his attention to the visual feed showing the mysterious vessel. It was unlike anything in the Empire's extensive archives, sleek, with a design that seemed to emphasize efficiency over intimidation. No visible weapon systems, no recognizable propulsion exhaust pattern. "What are you?" he murmured, studying the image intently. "And where did you come from?" In his 3 centuries of service to the Empire, Zol had never encountered a situation quite like this. The unknown was always dangerous, but something about this particular unknown troubled him deeply. It wasn't just the vessel's superior speed or its failure to register properly. It was the timing of its appearance, seemingly out of nowhere, heading directly toward the most densely populated region of the galaxy. His strategic mind considered the possibilities. A new player in the galactic arena? A technological breakthrough by one of the minor powers? Or something far more concerning, an external threat from beyond the charted regions of space? Whatever it was, Zol was determined to neutralize any potential threat to the Empire. As he issued orders to his fleet, similar conversations were occurring on the command decks of warships throughout the makeshift armada, each faction determined to protect its interests while securing whatever advantage this mysterious vessel might represent. Back aboard the Terra's Pride, the crew remained blissfully unaware of the storm gathering around them. Their sensors, while advanced by Earth standards, were not calibrated to detect the stealth technology employed by the major galactic powers. To them, space remained vast and empty, full of promise rather than peril. Captain Morrison had called a meeting of his senior staff to discuss their approach to the potentially inhabited systems ahead. The ship's conference room buzzed with excitement as the team reviewed the data they had collected during their journey. "The subspace communications we've detected suggest at least 3 distinct civilization patterns," Dr. Peterson explained, displaying a star chart marked with color-coded regions. "Based on signal density, this central area appears to be the most developed. That matches with our spectral analysis of the stars in that region," added Lieutenant Rodriguez. "Several show signs of Dyson structures or similar large-scale engineering." Morrison nodded thoughtfully. "So we're potentially heading toward the heart of an advanced civilization, or several of them. Dr. Williams, how are our first contact protocols coming along?" "The Universal Translator is online, processing the communication patterns we've intercepted," Dr. Williams replied. "It's building a rudimentary language matrix, but without direct communication, it's limited in what it can accomplish." Commander Park spoke up, her expression serious. "Captain, I recommend we reduce speed and approach with more caution. These civilizations have clearly been established for some time. Our sudden appearance at high velocity might be perceived as aggressive." Morrison considered this. "A valid concern. Commander, Dr. Williams, can we reduce to standard cruising speed without compromising the drive?"
We can, Captain, but
The ship's alert system suddenly activated, cutting off the engineer mid-sentence. Lieutenant Rodriguez rushed to the nearest console. "Captain, multiple objects just appeared on our sensors," she reported, her voice tense. They're everywhere, hundreds of them, surrounding our position." Morrison was on his feet instantly. "Battle stations, raise shields. What are we dealing with, Lieutenant?" "They appear to be ships, sir. Warships, based on their configuration and energy signatures. They've formed a containment pattern around us." The bridge crew rushed to their positions as Morrison took his command chair, outwardly calm despite the sudden crisis. On screen, the main view screen activated. revealing a stunning sight. Dozens of massive vessels had decloaked around them. Their designs varied, but their weapons uniformly pointed at the Terra's pride. More ships were appearing by the second, forming concentric rings around the human vessel. "They've surrounded us completely, sir," Rodriguez reported. "I'm counting over 200 ships now, with more arriving."
Are they hailing us?
Morrison asked. "Yes, sir. Multiple signals, different frequencies and protocols."
Open a channel, all frequencies. Let's introduce ourselves.
As Rodriguez established the connection, Morrison stood tall, straightening his uniform. When she nodded to indicate the channel was open, he spoke clearly and confidently. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth vessel Terra's Pride. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration and scientific discovery. We mean no harm and seek only to establish friendly contact with other civilizations. We apologize if our presence has caused concern." There was a moment of silence before a cacophony of responses flooded the communication system, overwhelming the translator. Rodriguez worked frantically to filter and organize the incoming messages. "Sir, they're demanding our immediate surrender and power down. They're calling us intruders, infiltrators, threats to galactic security." Morrison frowned. "This doesn't make sense. We've done nothing threatening. Clarify our peaceful intentions again." Before Rodriguez could comply, the tactical officer called out, "Captain, multiple vessels are powering up weapon systems. They're taking targeting positions." In the command center of the Indomitable, Admiral Zoll watched as the mysterious vessel finally responded to their hails. The translation matrix struggled to process the unknown language, but the intent seemed clear enough. "They claim to be from a place called Earth," his communications officer reported. "They insist they are on a peaceful mission."
"Earth,"
Zoll repeated.
"There is no record of such a civilization in our archives. Their vessel design is completely novel."
"Admiral," added his intelligence officer, "and the energy signature from their propulsion system is unlike anything we've encountered. It appears to fold space-time in a manner our physicists believe theoretical at best." The Altarian representative, present via holographic projection, spoke up. "This could be an elaborate deception. The vessel appeared directly in a strategically significant sector without warning. No emerging civilization should possess technology capable of such speeds." "I concur," added the vegan delegate. "Recommend immediate neutralization of the threat before they can deploy whatever weapons they carry." Zoll raised a hand, silencing the growing chorus calling for attack. "We are not barbarians. If this truly is a new species making first contact, we should proceed with caution." "With respect, Admiral," countered the Centauri representative. "Caution would be to eliminate the unknown threat before it can act. The vessel is heading directly toward the heart of our civilizations." As the debate continued, the sensor officer suddenly called out, "Admiral, the vessel is executing some kind of maneuver." All eyes turned to the tactical display as the Earthship began to move in a pattern none of them had anticipated. Aboard the Terra's Pride, Captain Morrison had made a critical decision, surrounded and facing potential destruction. He turned to Dr. Williams. "Doctor, can the Q-fold execute microjumps within this containment field?" Dr. Williams's eyes widened.
"Microjumps? Yes. Theoretically, the drive can calculate folding points with extreme precision. But at this range, surrounded by so many mass shadows, it would require split-second timing and perfect calculations."
"Can you do it?" The engineer took a deep breath. "Yes, Captain. I believe I can plot a series of random jumps within the containment field. Don't breach it. I don't want them to think we're running, but show them what we can do." Dr. Williams nodded and rushed to the engine control station, fingers flying across the interface as she programmed the complex sequence.
"Ready, Captain?"
Morrison addressed the bridge crew. "Everyone, secure yourselves. This will be rough." Then, to Williams, "Execute." What followed astonished both the crew of the Terra's Pride and the assembled alien fleets. The human vessels seemed to blink out of existence, only to reappear instantly at another point within the containment sphere. Before the alien vessels could adjust their targeting systems, it vanished again, reappearing elsewhere. Again and again, the Terra's Pride executed precision jumps, moving between the alien warships with impossible accuracy, never firing a shot, never making an aggressive move, but demonstrating a level of technological control that left the assembled forces stunned. In the Indomitable's command center, Admiral Zoll watched with growing amazement as the Earth vessel executed maneuvers that should have been impossible. "How are they doing this?" demanded the Altarian representative, his holographic form flickering with agitation. "Their control over space-time manipulation is extraordinary," Zoll admitted, unable to hide his admiration. "They're jumping with precision measured in meters, not kilometers. Our best navigators couldn't match this level of control. All the more reason to destroy them now," insisted the vegan delegate. "This technology represents a clear threat to the established order." Zoll was about to respond when his sensor officer called out again, this time with unmistakable alarm in his voice. "Admiral, multiple new contacts appearing." The tactical display updated to show 12 new vessels materializing around the containment field. Unlike the first Earthship, these made no attempt at subtlety. They appeared simultaneously in a perfect formation, their arrival sending shockwaves through subspace that temporarily disrupted sensors throughout the Allied fleet. "More Earth vessels?" Zoll questioned. "Confirmed, Admiral. Similar design characteristics but significantly larger. They appear to be warships." The communications officer turned from his station. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel of the new arrivals. They identify themselves as the Earth Defense Fleet." "Put it through." The main screen activated to show a human female in a different uniform than those aboard the first vessel. Her posture radiated authority, her expression stern but controlled. "This is Admiral Grace Thompson of the Earth Defense Fleet. You have surrounded and threatened one of our exploration vessels. We demand you stand down immediately and withdraw your weapons. Captain Morrison and his crew are under our protection." Zoll stepped forward. "This is Admiral Zoll of the Zephyrian Empire. Your vessel entered our space unannounced and unregistered, traveling at speeds we believed impossible. How do you expect us to react to such an incursion?" Admiral Thompson's expression remained impassive. "We were unaware of your territorial claims or registration requirements. Earth has only recently developed interstellar travel capabilities. The Terra's Pride is our first deep space exploration vessel. They were sent to make peaceful contact, not to threaten. Yet you now arrive with warships," noted the Centauri representative. "Standard protocol," Thompson replied. "We dispatched the defense fleet the moment Terra's Pride left our system, following at a discreet distance. When they were surrounded, we accelerated to render assistance. Had we intended hostility, Admiral, you would not have received a warning." The implied threat was clear, as was the technological superiority it suggested. For the Earth vessels to have monitored the situation from such a distance and arrived so quickly indicated capabilities far beyond what the assembled fleets had anticipated. Admiral Zoll made a rapid strategic assessment. The Earth vessels had demonstrated extraordinary propulsion technology, precision navigation, and now, formidable military presence, all without firing a single shot. Fighting them would be costly at best, potentially disastrous at worst. "Perhaps," he suggested, "we should continue this discussion in a more appropriate forum. I propose a diplomatic meeting aboard my vessel, with representatives from all parties present." Thompson nodded. "Agreed. We come in peace, Admiral Zoll, but we will protect our own. I look forward to more productive conversations." As the communication ended, the tactical display showed the Earth warships adjusting their positions, maintaining a defensive formation around the Terra's Pride, while the alien fleets began a cautious withdrawal to non-threatening distances. The crisis had been averted, for the moment. But the galaxy had changed irrevocably with the arrival of humanity on the interstellar stage. Word of the encounter spread rapidly through subspace communications. Within days, an emergency session of the Galactic Council was convened on Zephyr Prime, the neutral world that served as the center of interstellar diplomacy. The Council Chamber, a vast amphitheater capable of accommodating representatives from hundreds of civilizations, was filled to capacity. At the center stood a delegation from Earth: Captain Morrison, Dr. Williams, Commander Park, and President Kevin Collins, the leader of Earth's unified government. Admiral Zoll, now serving as the Zephyrian representative to the proceedings, watched with interest as President Collins addressed the assembled delegates. Distinguished representatives of the galactic community, Collins began, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. On behalf of Earth and humanity, I extend greetings and peaceful intentions. Our venture into the stars was not meant to cause alarm, but to seek knowledge and establish friendly relations with other intelligent species. A murmur ran through the assembly. The Altarian Prime spoke next, his translucent form shimmering under the chamber's lights. Your arrival was unprecedented. President Collins, no emerging civilization has ever appeared so suddenly, with technology so advanced. You must understand our concern. Collins nodded. We do understand, and we apologize for any distress our appearance caused. Humanity has always been driven by curiosity and innovation. When we finally overcame the light-speed barrier 5 years ago, our progress accelerated dramatically. 5 years! The vegan representative's voice conveyed disbelief. You developed faster than light technology only 5 years ago? Dr. Williams stepped forward, having been invited to explain the scientific aspects of Earth's achievements. The quantum fold drive was the result of a theoretical breakthrough that occurred quite suddenly, she explained. Once we understood how to manipulate the quantum structure of space-time, practical applications followed quickly. Our civilization united around this discovery, pooling resources and knowledge to bring it to fruition. Impressive, admitted the Centauri delegate. But also concerning. Such rapid advancement suggests unpredictability. Commander Park addressed this concern. Throughout our history, humanity has indeed been unpredictable, sometimes to our detriment. But we have also learned from our mistakes. The unified Earth government was formed specifically to ensure that our advancement into space would be guided by principles of peace, cooperation, and ethical responsibility. Admiral Zoll, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. I witnessed firsthand the discipline of these humans. When confronted by overwhelming force, they demonstrated remarkable restraint. They could have attempted escape or even aggression, but instead chose to showcase their capabilities without threatening anyone. That speaks to a level of maturity that deserves recognition. His words carried significant weight, coming from the military leader who had initially organized the containment response. A thoughtful silence fell over the chamber as the delegates considered this perspective. President Collins seized the moment. We come before you not as conquerors or disruptors, but as students eager to learn and potential partners ready to contribute. Earth has much to offer: our scientific innovation, our cultural diversity, our unique perspective as newcomers to the galactic community. In return, we hope to benefit from your wisdom, experience, and friendship. The Drakari representative, who had remained silent until now, spoke in a gravelly voice that the translation matrix struggled to render smoothly. Words are easy. Intentions are harder to discern. What guarantees can you offer that humanity will adhere to the established order? No absolute guarantees, Collins admitted honestly. Only our commitment to peaceful coexistence and our willingness to abide by mutually agreed-upon principles. We propose a progressive integration. Allow us observer status in your council while we learn your ways. Judge us by our actions during this period. The proposal sparked intense discussion among the delegates. Some argued for caution and restrictions on human expansion. Others saw potential benefits in embracing the newcomers. Throughout the debate, the Earth delegation remained composed, answering questions directly and acknowledging concerns without becoming defensive. As the session neared its conclusion, the Council Elder, a member of an ancient species that had helped establish the interstellar community millennia ago, called for a preliminary vote on Earth's status. The result was unexpected but clear: provisional acceptance of Earth as an associate member of the Galactic Council, with a path to full membership contingent upon demonstrated compliance with interstellar norms and treaties. President Collins accepted the decision with grace. "We are honored by your trust and will work diligently to prove it well placed." As the formal session ended, Admiral Zoll approached the Earth delegation. "An impressive beginning," he commented. "Few new species navigate their first council session so successfully." "We had an excellent teacher in adversity," Morrison replied with a smile. "Nothing focuses the mind quite like being surrounded by hundreds of warships." Zoll's features arranged themselves in what the humans were learning to recognize as a smile. "Indeed, I must admit, Captain, your ship's maneuvers were remarkable. Our tacticians are still analyzing the recordings." "Perhaps our technical teams could benefit from an exchange of knowledge," suggested Dr. Williams. "Within appropriate boundaries, of course." "A promising idea," Zoll agreed. "I believe there is much we could learn from each other." As the conversation continued, other delegates approached, curious about these newcomers who had so dramatically announced humanity's arrival on the galactic stage. What had begun as a potential conflict was transforming into a diplomatic opportunity of unprecedented proportions. In the days that followed, a framework for cooperation emerged. Earth would share limited aspects of its quantum-fold technology in exchange for access to the accumulated knowledge of the galactic community. Human representatives would be stationed at key diplomatic hubs, while alien observers would be welcomed on Earth. The Terra's Pride, which had inadvertently triggered the crisis, was officially registered in the Interstellar Vessel Database, the first Earth ship to receive such recognition. Its registration code would forever mark it as a pioneer, a symbol of humanity's entrance into a much larger universe. Captain Morrison and his crew were honored for their role in establishing first contact. When asked about their future plans, Morrison's answer was simple: to continue exploring, with a bit more awareness of the traffic regulations. For Yelma, the sensor technician whose vigilance had first detected the human ship, the outcome was bittersweet. She received commendation for following protocols precisely, but also found herself reassigned to a more sensitive monitoring station, closer to Earth's sector, a position that recognized both her reliability and her newfound connection to the emerging situation with humanity. Admiral Zoll, meanwhile, became an unexpected advocate for human integration into the galactic community. Having witnessed firsthand both their technological prowess and their restraint, he argued that it was better to have humans as allies than potential adversaries. His perspective, coming from a respected military leader, carried significant influence in the ongoing debates about how quickly to embrace the newcomers. 6 months after the initial encounter, a formal treaty was signed on Earth, the first interstellar diplomatic agreement in human history. Representatives from 27 alien civilizations attended the ceremony in Geneva. Their diverse forms, a vivid reminder of the vast tapestry of life that humanity was now joining. President Collins, addressing both his fellow humans and the alien delegates, captured the significance of the moment. Today marks not an endpoint but a beginning. Humanity steps into a community of intelligence and diversity beyond our wildest dreams. We bring with us our curiosity, our creativity, our resilience, and our hope. We acknowledge that we have much to learn, but we also have contributions to make. Together, We look forward to writing the next chapter of our shared cosmic story. As the ceremony concluded and celebrations began, Admiral Zoll found himself in conversation with Captain Morrison and Dr. Williams on a balcony overlooking the festivities. "Your civilization adapts quickly," he observed. "6 months ago, most of your people didn't know alien life existed. Now they celebrate interstellar treaties as if they've been doing so for generations." Morrison smiled. "That's humanity at its best, embracing the new, finding excitement in discovery rather than fear in the unknown." "A valuable trait," Zoll acknowledged. "One that many older civilizations have lost over time." "Perhaps that's why we appeared in your sensors as an anomaly," suggested Dr. Williams. "Not just our technology, but our perspective. Sometimes, fresh eyes see pathways that experience overlooks." "An intriguing theory," Zoll said, considering her words. "If true, then your arrival may benefit us all more than we initially realized. Your species might be exactly what the galactic community needed, a reminder of the wonder that awaits those willing to venture beyond the familiar." As night fell over Earth, the first world in the galaxy to witness the historic treaty, lights twinkled both on the ground and in the sky, some belonging to Earth cities, others to the visiting alien vessels in orbit. To the casual observer, they formed a seamless tapestry, indistinguishable from one another, a fitting visual metaphor for the integration that was beginning. In observation stations throughout the galaxy, sensor technicians like Yelma continued their vigilant monitoring of space traffic. But now, among the countless green dots representing registered vessels moving through the cosmos, some belonged to ships from Earth, no longer anomalies but recognized members of the vast, complex network of civilizations that called the galaxy home. And in the endless debate chambers of the Galactic Council, a new phrase entered the diplomatic lexicon: the human factor, an acknowledgement of the unpredictable innovation, adaptability, and enthusiasm that humanity brought to interstellar affairs. What had begun as a potential threat had transformed into a source of renewal, a catalyst for progress in civilizations that had grown comfortable in their established ways. The unregistered ship that had caused such panic had, in the end, delivered not danger, but opportunity, a reminder that the unknown, while sometimes frightening, often carries within it the seeds of growth and possibility for those brave enough to embrace it.